Hey, we're back for another episode of... I gotta be honest with you, I have no idea why I have problems with that. But anyway, so we've decided today we're gonna do a quick episode
It's his
about...
catchphase.
I know that's right, I know, and I say it all the time.
Time with it.
I don't understand. Well,
But anyway, we're back. I gotta be honest with you, we're back. See, we both got the lead, kinda. We're gonna talk about random back issues that we like that maybe you folks should check out.
This is gonna be as far back as the 70s, just so you know. I mean, because comic people who buy comics don't just buy new issues. They find like they see a character they like. Let's say, I don't know, like Spy Master from Iron Man. Did you know that?
Yeah.
And they say, hey, I should go check out his back previous issues. So then they go back, and that's half the fun in comics is going looking for back issues.
That's the fun of it for
Right.
me. It's finding old back issues.
And back before you were born, when I was younger, because I'm older than you as I was, we didn't have internet, so we couldn't go there. We had to actually go to comic book stores and actually look for the comics. So, like, you go on a trip, you go say you went to Maine, you're like, oh, are there any comic book stores? Let me see if they have comics I need. And, you know, that's how I found Army of Darkness.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Because you never knew, because it's like, it was more like a treasure hunt, which made it a lot of fun, which I think the internet kind of took away from us.
It did. It really
A little
did.
bit. I mean, like, I found the what do you call it? They did an Army of Darkness. Dark Horse did it a while ago. We don't have any copies, that's why I didn't even bring it over. They did a 3-part thing on the Army of Darkness, which is the third thing.
Third Evil Dead film.
Right. They did a 3-part series. You could find issue 1, you could find issue 3, but you can never find issue 2. I just happened to be in a mall in Maine, I think Portland, Maine, actually, and I found the second issue. I was like, wow, cool.
Nice. That's the thing. That's the treasure hunt.
Exactly.
That's what keeps you going.
And the funny thing was, the guy didn't know how much it was worth, because I got it for a song. Thanks.
How much is it worth?
It's worth quite a bit, actually. It's rare. They're all worth like $20, $30 a piece.
And you got it for like $1.
I got it for like cover, but it's still a steal at that time
That's a
because
steal.
he didn't know what he had. Well, like what you did at the
That's what we do at the conventions.
at the convention when you got that
in our convention books. We just try to cut good deals.
yeah, but like you did with that $10 deal, that was sweet.
That was graveyard robbery, as I've said.
Yeah, it was picks and axes and shovels and all that other stuff. Fun
Frankenstein style.
stuff. Yeah, little lightning, the townspeople coming after you. I love it.
Chasing you with.
You know.
But anyway, what's a book that
anyway.
you liked? Let's go back into the past. What's
All right,
a book
we're gonna go old school big time. There's a comic called Marvel Team Up. Ran for 150 issues. They also had like I think 7 annuals. This right here is one of the funniest issues ever. What it is Spider-Man and the Beast get together, they take on the Griffin. Yeah, it's a lame character. What are you gonna do? And it's just a very, very funny book. There was a lot of other runs in the book, but this is one of my favorites. This one and another one we don't have.
What made it so funny?
Yeah,
It was
why,
just-
why
That's
did
the
you
best
like
one,
that book?
It was just funny because they're at one point they're taking on the Griffin, and the Griffin's like just beating him to death. And then near the end, they show up, and both Spider-Man and Beast are there, and they're like, oh, it's just a Griffin. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? It just made it funny because they made the character look even lamer than he was.
It's funny you say Spider-Man and Beast because they had a good team up in Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man that actually Eric Larson did.
Eric Larson? Wow, nice segue. But what made the Marvel team so good to me is because it was Spider-Man, and I like the idea of like teaming up characters with other kids. It's a good way to introduce characters.
Yeah.
Like they introduced Captain Britain, who was great.
65, issue
65,
65.
yep. And the story
Cloak and Dagger.
Cloak and Dagger. Yep. No, well, yeah. Well, no, they were in Spectacular.
You're right, I'm sorry, but they ended up
Right.
their third
I mean,
appearance or
and like
whatever.
characters like, and I know I'm going off a little bit, but this like Man Wolf, like characters you don't know about, they got a chance to actually have the limelight for a month, and the storylines were great, and the people who wrote them, I mean, Byrne and Claremont had an incredible run on it.
They did. I mean, I love Marvel Team Up.
It just I think Marvel should go back to that because it was a fun comic. And do it right, not crappy like the
One
last
and done
couple
issues, no overlapping arc or anything like
Well,
that.
no. They did a couple 4 issues. They did a 4 issue with the Vision, Scarlet Witch, and a couple other characters, and they went back in time, which was actually pretty cool.
There were a couple issues without Spider-Man.
Yeah, there was the Human Torch.
Human Torch and Iceman.
Yep.
But that wasn't their first fight.
No, but the Human Torch did guest star once in a while. They also they did a 4 arc with Iron Man. They did an arc with Doctor Strange and Valkyrie and Nightwing, which were actually Nighthawk,
Mm-hmm.
which was actually really cool. And they did a thing where Spider-Man went back in time and met who the hell did he meet? He met trying to remember. He met Deathlock and he met Adam Warlock. He went back in time. He had the time thing, the Doctor Doom's time.
Now, I have a question. Did you like Marvel Team Up better than Brave and the Bold? Because Brave and the Bold was the DC equivalent of Marvel Team Up.
Actually, Marvel Team was the.
Well, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I had that in reverse.
Yeah.
Marvel Team Up was their answer to Brave and the Bold. Brave and the Bold was Batman's Marvel team up.
Right, and DC Presents was DC Comics Presents was Superman's team up.
Yep.
And Marvel 2-in-1 was the thing.
Marvel 2-in-1 was the thing.
The thing, right?
So why did you like Marvel team up better than that? Were you a big Spider-Man fan back in the day?
Well, no. What ended up happening is I was a big Marvel team up fan. I liked the idea of having two characters together. And what happened was I actually read that before I read Brave and the Bold. I mean, I love Brave and the Bold too. Brave and the Bold was great because Jim Aparo's art is just off the hook. I mean, literally off the hook. What I don't know, for some reason, I don't know, Marvel Team Up I just liked. It was one of the first comics I bought. For some reason, I just liked it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I carried through, and I can only praise it right now. And I think that maybe, that being said, that, you know, it should come back. I mean, they've tried to do it a couple times. It's just been crap.
That's true.
You know, and
they even did one with Invincible.
Yeah, they did. Which no one can find.
Which no one can find.
But I think I have a copy at my house.
Do you?
Yeah. Anyway, other than that, I mean, and it's just, it's an amazing comic. And I think that's something comics should think about doing, is going back to the team-up thing, because then you can get lesser characters. People might go, oh, I really don't like one of these characters, but you know what? Like, who are the Sons of Tigers? Who really knows? But you know what? If you put them in a comic like this with a big name like Spider-Man, maybe you get more people interested. You could actually use that as maybe a
backdoor pilot,
or a bouncing board to like get
traction for the character to take off.
Exactly. Maybe do his own issue instead of like revamping the Humans 85 times or Black Panther 85 times. Just a thought. What do you got, buddy?
The recent book I just read was The Dark Knight Returns Part 4. I actually read the whole story, but this is the only one that we could find.
Oh, there you go.
This is the story of an elderly Batman at 55, burnt out, way past his prime, and it deals with a lot of the themes of the 80s, Reaganism, things like that. Superman's a puppet for the United States government. There are a new young group of, there's a young gang called the Mutants. They're terrorizing the citizens of Gotham. Joker is in an asylum, being reformed. He's being reformed.
Where he belongs.
Yeah, I know. And Bruce Wayne at 55 basically has that awakening, rebirth, and no pun intended, and he just puts on the cape and cowl and goes back and takes down the mutants.
There you go.
What about it stood out to you? Why did you like that?
I love that idea of the old man coming out of retirement for one final fight, because it was supposed to be just his final fight until until it made a lot of money.
Well, let me just real quick. I know we've talked about The Dark Knight a few times in other episodes, but this actually saved Batman. I mean,
it did. Frank Miller's work and Klaus Janson.
Oh yeah, this is like,
the art is great, the writing's great. Frank Miller really had a grasp on Batman in the 80s. Not saying he didn't in the recent Dark Knight: The Master Race.
But his second was horrible.
The Dark Knight Strikes Again was god awful. I'd rather watch James Magic episodes than read that book.
I mean, honestly, it was horrible. I mean, the other thing though, funny thing about it though is he
it also took away the Batman Superman friendship thing.
Right,
They're always like, and Superman was just like, I must do what's best for the country and people, and Batman's just like, you know, we're criminals, Clark.
Yeah, there you go.
We've always been.
You know,
that's my Batman voice.
That was good, by the way.
That was not really.
I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be nice.
voice.
Anyway, you know, and the other thing about this was cool that this opened the door for like Batman to have more
adult Doc stories.
Right, which actually he thrived on.
Doc.
The
Doc Knight.
I thought you were going to give that up. All right, anyway.
This cover though is funny just because Batman, when he fights Superman, never has a sword and he doesn't use a bazooka like that.
But you know the funny thing is there's also the iconic cover there with the lightning coming down that's been done over and over again.
That's been done. But my favorite issue, this is not my favorite issue, we do not have it, is issue 2. I'll post a picture of it on our Facebook.
And why did that one?
That's where he fought the mutant leader, and it dealt with Bruce Wayne's age. Plus the cover is him beaten, bloody, everything. He's just like...
It was, and again, like I said, back in the 80s, that was revolutionary.
He fights him twice in the book. The first fight, he tries to fight the mutant leader mano-a-mano, but he's 55, and the mutant leader is like 20, 25. And he's too slow. They even say that when Bruce Wayne goes for a kick, he's like, "You're slow." In his thought bubble, he's right. So when Batman kind of took a wrestling cheap shot and to beat him by using. That's when Karen Kelly was introduced as Robin. Then at the end of the issue, he lets the mutant leader out of jail, and they fought in this big mud pit.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You want to fight me again?
Yeah.
You're too slow." And he goes, "Yeah, but we're both slow, hip deep in mud." So that's how he beat him. He tactically beat him. Then he just destroyed him.
Oh yeah,
what was the classic line? "You don't get it, son. This is an operator's table." Snap. And I'm the doctor. As he broke his arm, his leg, both his legs.
There you go.
Great. It was a great story.
Oh yeah.
What about you? Anything else you got?
Well, I picked out this one. This right here, there's a comic called Black Hawk. It came out a long time ago.
Yeah, it did.
The two guys, Dan Spiegel did the art. I don't remember who wrote it. Mark Evans, I think, wrote it. Mark Evans wrote it, who you might know from fame of Gru with Sergio, what's his, Angola.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. It's look it up on Wikipedia. Anyway, they did it. They kind of revamped Black Hawk, and it ran for like 12 issues. It's actually a really good story. This is just a pimp cover. I'm sorry.
That is a pimp cover. Oh yeah,
That's pimp. And the other cool thing was they actually fought a rolling wheel with machine guns on it. We don't have that cover, by the way, but it was a really cool issue. This I liked it because it was a war story, but it was actually a cool war story. You know, and like war comics and Western comics like Jonah Hex, people don't read them, but they're actually really good.
They're really cool.
You know, you should check them out. You know, I know a lot of people out there like just superheroes and whatnot, but you know what you might want to do? Try something else.
Try something else.
You know, because there's a vast amount of comics here that you should actually want to try. You know, if you just pigeonhole yourself into one
genre.
Done. Anyway, you might want to try something else. That was a shot, by the way.
Why?
I'm just saying. Well, he doesn't try anything.
That's another topic on another. We're not here.
Dunzilla, I love you, buddy. I'm just kidding.
Segueing to a recent issue I just read was Spawn issue 10, which didn't introduce, but it had Cerebus the aardvark, Dave Sims' character. This issue is cool because it basically spoofs, satires, and states the greediness of comic book companies such as Marvel, and mostly Marvel.
Yeah.
This was Todd McFarlane taking a huge shot at Marvel. They would make all the money off of the characters that they created, which led to the creation of Image Comics, which we've talked about. But Cerebus just comes in and shows them what life could be like. It shows all the creators selling their souls for dollars with the characters
Nice
locked
image.
in prison. Oh, yeah.
Actually, I like the image you just showed. The other one.
Which one?
The back this way. Keep going.
Even Superman.
Yeah, Superman. I like the Superman.
That's not
thing.
Superman, but it's supposed to be.
But it could be.
The one who came first.
There you go. But
Which one? The one with the
this one right here.
Doomsday.
Yeah,
because it was a shot at money making events.
Yeah.
But this was cool because having the Violator in a dress full of dollar bills.
That's pretty cool.
That's what Marvel did. Still does.
Well, yeah, they still do.
Well, not really, because they don't really create new characters.
No, but
they don't.
No, they don't. But they do. But no one cares about the characters they create.
I don't care about the Tracer or anything like that because they don't hype them.
No, I'm talking about the characters. What they want. They want to be politically correct, and who cares?
Who cares? Then Cerebus shows up, and
it goes black and white.
It goes black and white, which is awesome.
Because Cerebus was a black and white comic. Another comic.
Dave Sims' creation.
You might want to check it out. It's actually really
that
good.
That book's the shit.
Yeah, it is. He did takeoffs on all the characters. He did takeoff on Moon Knight. Took a takeoff on Conan. The girl that was working with Cerebus for a while looked like Red Sonja. Well, black and white, so really, you know.
He takes Al Simmons' Spawn to this house and shows him like the life he could have, or
like It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life. He shows him that he has a daughter.
Yeah.
And he's still a superhero. It was basically Spawn as Superman, and then the issue ends with Spawn with his, daughter from an alternate universe saying, "Dad." And then the next issue went back to the regular continuity where he was in the alleys. Cerebus is cool. I wish it never got canceled.
Well, I guess they came out with a Cerebus in Hell with a 3-part, four-part.
That was a spoof on Hellboy in Hell, wasn't it?
I know it was. It was actually pretty funny. Actually, I've read 2 of the issues. It's hysterical. Anyway,
but that's going to break the Cerebus' record.
Oh yeah, but that's okay. I'd be cool if Cerebus shows up in 300.
As a rumor.
Wouldn't it be cool if Cerebus was a Soul Crusher?
Wow. He'd have to grow like 4 feet and change his skin color and his...
But wouldn't it be funny, though?
I would laugh my ass off.
I would, too. I'd be like, that's awesome. That wouldn't be
Gunn probably would, too.
That would. It'd be great. Yeah. Anyway. Did you talk about Invincibles yet?
Invincible, we don't have enough time, but Invincible is a great comic right now. It starts at this issue. It was a quarter issue. We may be giving away a couple on our podcast.
Alrighty, then. Listen, we want to say again and again, send us suggestions.
Send your love.
Send your
suggestions.
Wow, usually you don't mess up like that.
No,
but I'm like saying, send your suggestions, send whatever you want. If you got ideas of what you think we should do or not do, give us that.
And let us know some back issues you guys are interested in.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about.
Let us know who you want us to make fun of. I will gladly do it for you. I will make fun of people.
You rock. Anyway,
so do you. You're good at it.
Yeah, but I do it subtly. No one notices that. By the way, 2 quick things I want to share if I got the time. Do I have time? 2 quick things. One, I used to do stand-up comedy a long time ago. No, seriously, I did. I'm actually thinking about doing a show. If I do a show, trust me, we'll hype the hell out of it. The other thing I want to share is if you got a chance, you're driving down the road, you want to hear some music, slap in the CD of Cotosaurus Erectus by Blue Oyster Cult. It rocks. It's good driving music. Other than that, I got nothing. What do you got?
For music?
For music, yeah, Cotosaurus Erectus. It rocks.
What am I
Black
listening
Blade?
to?
Yeah, Black Blade. It's awesome. What would you listen to when you're driving?
When I was coming down here, I was listening to Van Halen's 5150.
That works too. Anyway,
That's all I got.
on that note, be seeing ya.
See ya.